Hey guys, here's a Homeline 16-inch oscillating desk fan from the early 90s or possibly even the late 80s. This was made by SMC and it would have been one of their first fans to be sold here in Canada. This definitely precedes the superfans that we know from the 90s. As you can see, it still has chrome, which pretty quickly faded in the 90s. But it still has that signature gradient gray switches that SMC fans were pretty well known for. But what's cool about this fan is that it has a built-in timer, mechanical timer, which is very cool. I've never seen that on any of the super fans. I think this might have been one of those premium features that only select models of SMC fans got. So that's really cool. So it's continuously running right now, but you can set it up to 2 hours and it will count down and stop there. So you can set it there if you want to run it continuously. So that's very neat. And it's a 3-speed fan. So the badge actually doesn't have any letterings on it. I don't know if it had the Homeline badge at some point, but at least now it doesn't. Nice chrome grills on it. And the blades it's a dark gray, but interestingly, it kind of has this almost like a metallic shimmer to it that makes it seem like it's translucent, but it's not. It's opaque. So it's definitely different than the gray blades that were used in the later super fans, or I should say earlier super fans, but that fans that came after this model. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of it. Pretty average pitch on those blades. Interestingly, the neck joint is extremely yellowed compared to the rest of the fan. In fact, not even the switch, the off button, is yellowed on this. It's just this piece and that piece. The oscillator knob is not even white, it's a light gray. So the back of this fan reminds me a lot of the Can-Arm 16-inch fans, which are also made by SMC. I remember my high school library, or actually no, yeah, it was the library, had one of these. I think I made a video on this a while ago, years ago, and it had the same back motor housing. PSC motor in there. And let's see what's on the bottom of the fan. Okay, well, here's the information tag, and I was actually pretty surprised to see that it says Can-Arm on it, even though I don't think Homeline had any connections with Can-Arm. In fact, the OEM of this fan is SMC, so I was kind of expecting that it would say, Shell Electric Manufacturing Company, but no, it says Can-Arm. So that's very interesting. I mean, I did mention earlier that the rest of the fan looks a lot like the Can-Arm that I saw at my high school years ago, but that's very interesting. 0.64 amps, it's a model D16T. Now, I don't know if this number is a date code of some sort, if that's like 1990 maybe, but I'm not really gonna lean on that too much. I'm not too sure. There is a number there, but I'm not sure if that means anything. All of the rubber feet are intact, which is nice. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in and test it out. Okay, we'll start with low speed. The button is pretty much jammed. Okay, well, that's quite a startup noise. So it seems like the bearings might be a bit stiff. It's moving an alright amount of air. Again, these earlier fans, or fans made between the late 70s and the mid to late 90s that were sold in Canada, had these safety grills, which, I mean, yeah, they were safer, but they also restrict quite a bit more air. than fans that were sold pretty much everywhere else. So I'm sure that's kind of playing into the fact that this fan isn't moving too much air right now, but I think also the bearings are a bit stiff. I don't know what that noise is. Something's like rattling or growling. Could be the gearbox. The grills are rattling too. Okay, let's turn it up to medium. Uh-oh. That's not good. Just stopped. Well, this fan's definitely gonna need some mechanical tune-up and maintenance. The switch is not sounding too happy. Now it's actually moving some air. And that's only a medium. Sounds like that weird rattling might be the gearbox. Okay, let's turn it up to high. It's a fast fan, I will say that. It's flying. It's actually quite powerful on high. I bet if this was a different country market fan without the safety grille, it would move a lot more air. But even so, with these safety grills, it's pretty powerful. Let me put it back on low and see if the timer does anything. Ah, there we go. So if we just intentionally put it in the off position, it turns off. And from here we can just set it to like 20 minutes, for example. And the fan will start up. And assuming the timer works, it should shut off after around 20 minutes. So it'll just like come down and then off. And then we manually set it to run continuously. That's kind of neat. Let's try the oscillation. Yep, works just fine. Just very slow. That's better. Decent blade pitch. And spin down. Oh yeah, the bearing is full. I'll definitely need some oil. That's not bad at all. Alright guys, well that is the Homeline 16-inch oscillating fan from either the late 80s or early 90s. A little overview in its as-found condition. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.